Welcome, MES Futures Trader, to the weekend briefing. We're going to review Friday's price action and trades and get our charts ready to trade for the Sunday night futures opening. All right, guys, so congratulations to Caleb and myself who reported 10 and 20 pointers this week. And Caleb did something really cool. He had a hat trick on Friday that is 3 separate entries where he captured 10 points or more. So congratulations, Caleb, on a great week and on your hat trick on Friday. So let's get to the chart. First thing we're going to do is review Friday. So in the Friday AM briefing, I outlined this scenario. I try to outline where's the next long and where is the next short. That falls in line with the advice I give every trader. Map out your next long and map out your next short. And you're going to see that as we review the day. So in the AM briefing, I outlined this scenario. And as you can see, as we scroll over, that's what happened. We lost this strong range I drew out, which was here. We lost that strong range, and we certainly went down. Caleb had a nice short from here. I believe this was his 20 pointer that he captured. He got out literally right here. I believe that was his 20 pointer. I think it is. Let's find out. Is that your 20 pointer? Yeah. So somewhere there was your 20 pointer. I'm not exactly sure if he went short here, I'm not exactly sure, but I knew that was his 20 pointer. So congratulations, Caleb, on that. So I took the long on this little opposite side of this strong range. Okay. In fact, if we come down to a 1 minute chart, I'm pretty sure we can see where all of that happened. And what I did is I took a long somewhere right in here, back and forth. And then as it came in, I ended up taking a small little paper cut loss. It was actually the long I had outlined. I was going to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt. It was theirs to lose for us to come to the bottom of this range and come back in. Now, one thing I didn't like is it bounced off the middle of this twice. And I was like, ugh. So I didn't take the long at the bottom of the range. I went just under it. I'm saying, okay, I'll let it dip under. Maybe it'll come back in and retest the bottom and then go. That's not what happened. Oh, well. A successful trading system has small wins, small losses, and big wins. The key is to avoid the big losses. That's the key. Avoid the big losses. I didn't get stubborn and say, oh, we got to go back up. No, we don't. And vomit through. So when the market opened, I was telling the group that I hope we come back into this strong range because I will certainly short it because to me, that presented the trade I just showed you in the AM briefing. That's not what actually happened. So I did not participate in the short side of this move at all. Did I need to participate in the short side? No, it's okay. And at some point in here, we were 100 points down. Okay. And so I said, I'm not chasing shorts anymore. In fact, in the overnight session, what I was watching for is for us to get back to this strong level right here. I had a short prepared to go into there, but it never got up there. So, oh, well, you wake up and you're like, okay, we're laddering down. The play looks short or flat, but we're coming into the strong range. We're coming into the IB low. When we grab that, the proper play is to look for a long. Took the long, took a small stop. Oh, well, next. It didn't come back and give me my entry I wanted here for a short, so I'm not in it. I'm not going to prediction trade and pretend I know what price is going to do. I can only follow price and play the levels. So the primary question here, which was would be the tip today, would be when can you counter trade? You got to have that figured out in your mind. You might say never, and I would say congratulations. I think you're probably right, but it does bounce both ways. And when the shorts get done with what they're doing, what happens next? There's a short squeeze. And I love being in short squeezes. This is my absolute favorite trade without a doubt. And so what we're watching for is, okay, we're laddering down. We came in. We're watching here, in all honesty, are we going to be able to get long Or is it going to come up here and let us get short? So no trade for me presented itself here. And then we vomited back down to this strong level. We came back down to this strong level. And I'm just watching. And in each of these cases, we're watching for when can I counter here? Because I'm not going to get short. We've already vomited 80, 100 points, many hours of short selling. I'm going to stay out of the way because I know shorts are like a microwave. It cooks real quick. Longs are like an oven, and it's a much slower cook. And that's okay. Some people love the microwave move of a short. Who doesn't? But I'm also looking for those longs. And one of the analogies I use for the guys, it felt stupid, but it's really true. Shorts are like a microwave. Longs are like an oven. So trends are hard to break. We got into this area here. And what I did is I outlined this trade to the group. And at this time, this was probably over here. And then you keep moving it, getting it out of the way so you can trade. And we just couldn't break to the north. I did not get my entry. I needed to come all the way up to here. And if it came back in, I would probably be interested in a long, but we didn't get that break. We didn't get it. Oh, well, no entry. Next, high probability trade. That's what we do is we wait for the next high probability trade. Then I mapped out this trade, and inside the group in the morning when we were here in this little chop area, I shared the group. These were the outlines of the two trades that I was interested in looking for because we're mapping out our longs, but I didn't map out any shorts. Why didn't I map out any shorts? I honestly wasn't looking for shorts, but what was the play? The play was short or flat. That's okay. I don't have to participate on the short side. We're already down 80, 100 points after many hours of vomiting. And I went, you know what? It could keep vomiting and that's okay. And if I have a zero trade day, if I have a break even day, whatever, what do I care? So we got down into this strong area and I was actually long twice. So I'd lost 2 points on that short earlier. I made 2 points here. It came back and got me because once it got up 2 points, I said, I'm capturing my 2-pointer and I'm going to be done. And then I tried to be long again. I forget exactly where I was long, but I was going to take my wife out for the day and get her out of the house after the holidays there and go grab a little lunch and shopping. So I was long and I chose to get out and move on with my day and not be looking at my phone, thinking about my trade, and missed out on a beautiful freaking move. And looking back at it, I would have captured 30 points had I been here managing my trade, but I didn't. Oh, well. So the day for me basically was break even. I saw it extremely well. I just didn't get to participate because eventually you got this trade, didn't you? It didn't happen in this section of the chart. It didn't happen from over here, but it happened over here. So, but this was the first trade I was looking at as far as wanting to really be long off of this strong level. Once again, great bears know where the bulls are and great bulls know where the bears are. And could it have kept vomiting? Absolutely. But we have very good rules in our group of when can we counter? Where can we counter? What does that look like? And that was the price action we were calling out in the group. So if you're in my group on the trading floor, I did a little post about all the lessons that were learned are reinforced, not necessarily learned. You just got to see them live. For example, we weren't jumping into longs here. It wasn't time. The setup didn't happen. And how do we know? Well, heck, we went further down and then we came to this strong level. And then in here certainly exists, presented along if you were watching price action. I wasn't. I was with my wife. Oh, well, wait for the next day. There's another high probability trade around the corner. And for me, that will be Monday. Okay. So now let's zoom out and let's see where are we at. So I did suggest you print out this day because it's one of these outlier days where the thing just went down. How 240 something points. Yes, it can keep going. It's worthy of having this in your mind because promise you probably already forgot about it. I have this thing printed out, sitting right here next to my computer. I'm not kidding. I have it printed out for all of the indices on that day. It's just a great reminder. Keep your losses small because, yes, price can keep going. No, it does not have to come back. Yes, it can keep going. 50, 100, 125, 150, 200. It can keep going. Don't allow yourself to ever have a big loss. As I said earlier, small wins, small losses, and big wins. That's our goal. The other possibility are large losses. We want to avoid that. How do we avoid that? I'm constantly reinforcing on Zoom. Do not make things worse. Do not add to a losing trade. Do not move your stop loss. Take your L and move on. There is another high probability trade around the corner. All right, so let's look at this key level here. So I think this Wednesday's high on the FOMC is a key level. I think this Friday low right here is another key level that you want to make sure are on your chart. And where are we right now? We are in the middle. And if I throw on my range, we're now right here back in the middle. I think that's going to be really important going into next week when we're opening on Sunday night to know that we are in the middle of this range, because this was an inside week. What does that mean? Well, last week's candle was this, and this week's candle was that. It was an inside week. So you can easily see that here. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We are all inside of last week's range. So inside week, we're in the middle of the middle right now. How excited am I to trade in the middle of the middle? Not very. But we did take out a daily low. We took out a daily low. We took a London low. We took an overnight low. We couldn't quite get to this low. And that's okay. Shorts are microwaves. Longs are ovens. And you just have to be patient. Let's go look at the indices. I have not changed these lines on the indices yet, because what's the most important thing that happened here? Once again, it was Dow. Remember, we said we're going to keep this trend line on our chart. We had broken above that trend line. Let me pull this in even better. Okay, so we've had this on our chart from the AM briefings for a while. We finally broke over it. I said, I'm going to do what? I'm going to keep this on my chart till we back test it, and I wanted to know where that was. In our group, we were watching for that to happen, because as we were watching for that to happen, ES was coming into my strong level right here. Beautiful. Talk about multi-index confluence for a bounce. So beautiful. Wife comes first, but I wish I could have been home trading because that would have been a very nice trade with that in mind, with exactly that in mind. This back test of this trend line we were watching. I was hoping NQ would have taken this daily low. This was an RTH low, that as Dow was hitting the back test of this trend line, that NQ would have grabbed this liquidity, and we were coming off our strong level. Oh my gosh, what beautifulness. When can you counter trade? How about when all the indices are bouncing? That's a pretty good time to trade. Let's go back to ES, because the only thing I really wanted to show there was the back test of that trend line. Okay. So let's come in here and let's hit single prints and VPOC so you can see what I've got marked. I'm not going to go through each of them. If you want to screenshot this, screenshot it, but this is where the levels of single prints and VPOCs are going to be going into next week. Let's go pull up our session levels. These are the session levels I'm going to have going forward here. Let's expand that. We don't need those levels up there. We only really need this week's levels. So we have this Friday's IB low. Previous Friday, we have this, and you can see them all. Okay. I would mark every one of these levels and have them on your chart. I'm not going to go and discuss every single one of them. They should be self-evident, especially if you're in my group. And honestly, this is really for my members. It's open for anyone. My gift to you. This is how I see what is happening. So those are those levels there. Now what I want to do is let's go to an hourly chart here. I'm going to turn on trend lines. So where are these high time frame trend lines we've had? So once again, I want to just point out another thing. Trend line. I said I'm keeping it on my chart until what? Until we back test it. And that happened last week, right? On Friday. So I love those back tests of those trend lines as well. Does that give me an entry? No, but what if several indices are all hitting levels that's going to bounce price? Do we want to know that?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, we do. So on the top end of this deal, do we have a nice trend line here? We sure do. We fell short of getting back to there. And in fact, we didn't even take back our FOMC candle. And that's why that is such a key level going forward. Is there anything new that I would want to draw on here in regards to trend lines? We still have this monster daily trend line way back here. I don't need to adjust that. Now, could you come in here and say, this is a new trend line on a daily? Not yet. Not yet. I think it's still a lower time frame trend line, but I want to know it. Could you come in here and say, well, have we maybe went parabolic? Yeah, I think you could. You could say, are we in the midst of a small parabolic move? I would think that could be argued. And so I'm going to throw that trend line on there as well, anchored from here to up in here. And you can see, look at this. Is this not interesting? Is that not interesting? I love the anchor point, the touch point, and then the confirmation points there. This is now a real trend line. I think you can have that on your chart without a problem. Is there anything from the bottom coming up here that I would want to draw? I don't think so. I want to mainly know that we are in the middle of this range here from the FOMC high to the Friday low, and we're in the middle. That's the most important part to me. So no, we're in the middle going into the week. Yeah, so I think that is what I want you to carry forward into the Sunday opening, is marking those levels. Once again, you can back up and just pause the video and make sure you're marking the same levels that I marked. Now, I'm going to come over here into this, and I'm going to go ahead and adjust my levels here on the indices because I like doing that. And I want to make sure this stuff is lined up going into Sunday night, because my goal, oops, I don't want to move that. My goal right now would be, from here on out for me personally, is updating my strong levels. I don't want to come in here and do this type of maintenance stuff, but it has to be done so that you're prepared to trade, to possibly trade Sunday night. Will it happen? I don't know. But will I watch it? You bet. You know, and I love how Dow back tested that trend line. Could that be the catalyst for us to continue going up, up, and away? Very possibly. Monday's the last day of the month of trading, isn't it? Or is it Tuesday? Well, we'll look at that later. Here. Boom. All right, now that's getting set up. I like to line those up. I line up all those halfbacks, highs and lows, so we can see relative performance to the previous day's session. If I have any additional lines on there, because we've probably gotten outside of the previous day range, and those are additional levels that I want to, RTH levels mainly, that we are aware of as we're going into our trading day. So I am very excited about this past week's trading. Back the past 2 weeks, we've done really, really well in our group. I hope you've done really, really well as well. If you're looking for a group of MES Futures traders with a very solid system that will keep you on the right side of the trade, that's really good at knowing where price bounces, check us out at microstrader.com.
Stay green, my friends. And to learn more about our group, go to microstrader.com.